Fly belly up.
This is the game. It's cat and mouse.
Smoked a turkey. Yes. He is down. He is freaking down.
Said he shot an absolute giant.
Fall obsession, baby.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another Fall Obsession podcast. I will be your host today, Media Production Manager Nick Powell. And today we're going to get the story from our very own CEO, Sam Thrash, on his first hunt of the season.
Yeah, buddy.
But by the way, guys, I have a special guest today, our very own CEO, Sam Thrash. Hey, what's up, Sam?
Hey, what's up, Nick? Happy to be here, buddy.
Well, you guys know how we start off every single podcast. We got to shout out our friends over Elite. We could not be happier with our sponsorship with Elite. Those guys have really taken good care of us. They make some awesome products. If y'all haven't yet, go check out last week's podcast. Me and Sam got a chance to shoot the brand new Encore and Remedy, the 2021 lineup for Elite that they came out with this year. And man, they came out with some solid product.
Dude, it's freaking awesome. Yeah, guys, like Nick said, and I'm not going to repeat a whole lot, but episode 39 of our podcast, which is last week's episode, you guys go back and check that out because Nick and I literally broke down every last detail of the Encore and the Remedy. And as Elite said, it's enhanced shootability is their motto for 2021, and we stand by that, man.
Yeah.
It's been awesome to shoot those bows and see what they have to offer.
And if you haven't yet, guys, go to your local bow shop and go shoot an Elite. Our good friend Larry McCoy said that all they want to be is in the conversation. So go take the Elite Shootability Challenge and check them out.
Not only that, guys, check out episode 14 of the podcast. Larry McCoy told us that in our podcast. He came on for episode 14. And while we're on the topic of episodes, I just realized this is episode 40.
Already, dude.
Freaking crazy, man. And I hope this is episode 40. So guys, we're kind of stacking our episodes up right now. We're recording them pretty far in advance at this point. So we're losing track of episode numbers a little bit just because we're trying to – the holidays are coming up, or at this point they're already here. So we're trying to record these well ahead of time so that we can have a little bit more free time with our families during the holidays and not have to worry about recording podcasts. So I guess this is going to be episode 40.
It will be.
I believe that we're planning this correctly, so hopefully it's accurate. But it's crazy, 40 episodes of our podcast, and we're still going strong.
It's gone by quick.
12 weeks until we're at 1 year. That's pretty cool.
That is crazy.
And Cinnamon Creek.
Yes, we are – right now we are sitting inside of Cinnamon Creek.
In Cinnamon Creek itself.
Yeah, the actual place, Cinnamon Creek.
Yes. The pro shop.
The pro shop. But they also have, Sam, I'll let you say it. You're better at that than I am. Because you know this place better. You worked here.
Well, dude, I mentioned that in one podcast. I'm not meaning that to freaking go into every podcast, but, I mean, yeah, I did. But anyway. You guys go check out Cinnamon Creek Archery, Cinnamon Creek Ranch. They have an archery pro shop and an archery range. Several acres of archery ranges out here.
Yeah, outdoor and indoor.
Outdoor and indoor, 3D and just static targets, so you guys can check it all out. Come out here and shoot. Come out here and have the guys fix you up with a new bow or get your current bow tuned, whatever you need. Kyle and the guys up here in the pro shop are really good at what they do.
Yeah.
And then they have
stuff, for sure.
Wild game processor as well, which puts thousands of animals through it every year.
Yeah.
They have a really cool operation. Only do wild game processing. I got a deer in here right now. The deer that I'm going to talk about in this podcast, actually.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they also have their event center where they do all sorts of cool team building events for companies and corporate stuff.
Corporate stuff and things.
Yeah, and archery lessons, a kids league. They got a bunch of cool stuff up here.
Yeah.
So
definitely check them out, guys.
Yeah, Cinnamon Creek Ranch. They're on our social media. We tag them in a lot of our content, and they have their own Facebook and Instagram, obviously. So go give them a follow. If you're in the North Texas area, come check them out.
Yeah.
Tell them that Fall Obsession sent you.
Well, Sam, you have drawn blood, some white-tailed deer blood this season.
I have. And hopefully at the time that this podcast is coming out, like I said, we're recording in advance.
Yep.
But hopefully it won't be the only deer that I kill this year.
I hope not, yeah.
But
hopefully we both get one
it is,
or some.
Yeah, exactly. You got a big deer on camera too that you still need to kill.
Yeah, I know. Just got to wait on them. They're stubborn out there.
Hopefully, episode 40 something is your story of that
Yeah,
big buck.
I hope so.
Yeah. But anyway, this is a rather unique story. And I will also say this before I get into it, guys. I am a meat hunter. I
Yes.
hunt to fill the freezer, and if what I hunt has a big old set of antlers on top, then all the more better. Way
Yeah.
more better. But I am not afraid to shoot a doe, and I will shoot a doe in a heartbeat. I don't care.
Yeah, that's a strong push for why we even do what we do, is because we want to fill the freezers and feed our families.
Yeah, I have nothing against guys that go out there with their buck tags and they just want to shoot bucks. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. But then even more better. That means there's more does for me to kill.
That's
So,
right. I love killing does, man.
Yeah, I go on the doe patrol hard every
yeah.
year. I've mentioned this in a previous podcast, but I haven't killed a whitetail buck in like 7 years.
It's been a while for me too.
So that if that tells you how hardcore of a doe hunter I am, then there you go right there. But anyway, all is to say, this story that I'm about to tell you guys is a doe hunt. I kill a doe in this story. And a spoiler alert,
Yeah.
But if you guys have a problem with that, then go find another podcast, man.
Yeah.
But we are everyday hunters, as we've said so many episodes. But I shoot does, and I like it.
Yeah.
So, if you don't like
The
that,
meat's just as good.
the meat tastes just the same. So if you don't like me shooting does, then go back an episode or go forward an episode at this point. So you might not like my story.
Man, I feel like every hunting story is unique, no matter
Yeah.
what you're shooting at.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a good story. I've heard a little bit of it, but I'm excited to get into a little bit more detail.
Yeah.
So I'd like to start with your opportunities that you have this year, like
Okay.
your places that you're hunting, how you came upon them, and what kind of happened there.
So you guys are about to learn a lot about me. So I am a hardcore deer hunter without a deer lease. And
The struggle.
I'm almost like embarrassed to tell people like that because I'm so involved in fall obsession, and I'm so passionate about fall obsession and producing content and getting quality stuff on our pages, building better hunters, and feeding other folks' obsessions about deer hunting that it's almost embarrassing to be like, well, I don't have a lease right now, I mean, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I do all this stuff for other hunters, but I don't even get to hunt myself, is
And
almost what it feels like. But
I feel like that's just kind of the area we live in. It's either you own land, you have like family that owns land, or you have a bunch of money and can pay for whatever land you want,
Exactly.
And so if you don't have either of those, then it's tough.
Leases in
Makes it hard.
Texas are very expensive.
Yeah.
It can be very hard if you don't already have an in to get on a quality hunting lease that's affordable.
Right.
If you are average guys who are not extremely wealthy like us.
Yes.
So that being said, I won't go into that, but over the years, I've been without a lease for a few seasons now. But there's been other opportunities to scratch the itch, with the exception of this year. And if you guys have listened to the podcast for a while, you know the story. But I've gone to Montana the past couple years on a pronghorn antelope hunt, which has been absolutely awesome. It's definitely helped scratch the itch for hunting. And then last year we had our staff hunt. Really cool story. And I know we haven't mentioned it in a while, but episode 2 of our podcast, you and I sat down and talked about that.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool story to listen to. We had 10 guys in camp. We killed 31 deer in 3 days.
It was awesome.
So go listen to that one, episode 2, guys, if you haven't already. But that opportunity also put some meat in the freezer and allowed me to scratch that itch. So that being said, there's been opportunities that have come along for me to hunt and not feel like I'm, missing the boat type
Right.
deal. So all that is to say, this year, my father-in-law graciously offered, he has just a very small piece that backs up to a lot of unhunted, untouched land, private land.
Okay.
So he's got that going for him. He offered to let me put a setup on the backside of his property, kind of toward that private land over there. And then I also have a good buddy of mine that offered to let me put a couple setups on his property close to where I live. So that's been super convenient. However, there has not been a whole lot of deer. Actually, last week, I actually got my first trail cam picture of a deer on that place.
Yeah.
So
Is that the one you sent me?
maybe. I told you it was a monster deer, and it was like a 6-point,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Okay.
So, and there's my
It's
humor.
something, though.
Yeah.
There's my...
It's encouraging. So, and there's a lot of food in the woods out there for them. I really think that property is going to be better for late season when that first freeze comes in and the food in the woods starts going away.
Yep.
I really think that property at that point will, and the food sources that we've put up on there will start seeing a lot more activity. So that might be a late season spot, which is good because as I'm finding my father-in-law's place is probably better for early season.
There you go.
So anyway, those are the two places that I have. The setup on my father-in-law's place, that's where this story takes place, on this little small tract. I'm a bow hunter, in case you hadn't picked up on that. So
Right.
I'm not blasting a rifle on this small little piece of property. But so the setup that I had in Texas baiting is legal. So I had a feeder up. I know that rubs some people wrong. Some people don't really like baiting and stuff in
Yeah.
Texas. That's how we hunt. That's what it comes down to. And again,
Yeah.
if you don't like it, then I'm sorry, but that's how we do stuff. I
That's how it is.
have hunted without food sources, and I have been successful doing so. I do have that experience, and I do like it. I am not somebody who just automatically defaults to hunting over a feeder.
Yeah.
That's not how I roll exclusively. But in certain situations, I'm not scared to do it.
Right.
So,
Yeah. For sure.
so this was a feeder setup that I put up and a tree stand that I put in a big old tree that he's got out back there. Put it up and then left it untouched really for several weeks before I went back out there to check the camera and hunt in the same day. And they can see a part of that area from their house actually. So they kept, would be texting me and be like, yeah, there's, we saw this many deer come through, this morning or whatever. So I knew that there were deer coming in. And I'll give a shout out to our partners at Vapple Products because I ran some Vapple corn additive this year and saw some impressive results in the number of animals I had coming in. So
that's awesome.
Vapple works, guys. Go check them out. So anyway, I knew there were deer, so I went down there, I checked the camera. No bucks the first time that I checked this camera, but does out the wazoo coming in all the time. And there was this one really old doe in particular that I was like, she was always by herself, or when there was a group of them there, she was off by herself still, kind of in the background.
Yeah.
You could tell that she was past her prime and just kind of excluded. So I was like, perfect candidate for some Freezer Queen Doe Patrol.
That's what Doe Patrol is all about.
Yep, that's it right there. So anyway, that's how the opportunity kind of came about. That's how everything kind of started, and I checked that camera and I was like, all right, this is the deer that I want to shoot tonight.
Yeah,
so,
that's your target.
Yeah, so
That's what's up. Because I remember before you even went on this hunt, we were recording a podcast right before that.
like right before.
Literally,
I think
you were about to walk to your stand.
I think I mentioned in that podcast.
You did.
Because you were recording.
Yep.
I was on the phone with you and pro staffer Andy Meeks.
Yep.
We were talking about his Montana pronghorn hunt that he had this year. That is episode 35 of our podcast. You guys can go back and listen to that. It is a very good episode. But you can hear my
Anxiousness?
if that's even a word.
Oh, it is.
I don't know words.
Maybe.
So I can't read. But
We made it one today if it's not.
so anyway, you can hear my excitement in my voice.
Yeah.
I think I said in the podcast, I am standing here at the fence looking at my tree stand down the hill.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I hang up this phone, I'm walking down there and getting in it. You
Yeah.
know? I was ready to go. So, and this is just so funny. There's a reason this episode is called Backyard Bow Hunting, because this is backyard bow hunting is what this is. I can see the house. And, I mean, I got kind of a perspective for these guys that, like this, I'll give them a plug, the Seek One guys. I'm sure if you've been watching hunting videos and stuff on YouTube, you no doubt have stumbled across them or know about them somehow. These guys hunt in, like, I think it's the suburbs of Atlanta, I want to say.
You're right.
But they kill monster deer. literally in these people's
Yeah.
backyards. And granted, I don't have monster deer out there, but I kind of got a feeling and understanding for what it's like. Like, you're sitting in this tree stand. There's road noise from the road that's, a half mile away. There's, the neighbor comes out in their back porch to barbecue that night, and they're playing music and stuff, and the deer are just wandering around.
It's crazy.
They could care less. They're used to it. They're used to being up close to that level of activity. Look out at the neighbor's house, and like literally 20 feet off their back porch, there's a doe standing there.
Yeah.
That's the kind of place this is at.
Gotcha.
So I went down there. I took the family with me, so my wife and my 2 kids, and we're all at the in-laws' place. And literally, I record that podcast, and then I go get in my tree stand. I think my father-in-law was working. My wife and my mother-in-law, who's a photographer, they went to go take pictures of the kids. I don't know. My daughter is not 1 yet, so like 10-month or 9-month or 11-month pictures, something like that. You know how women are.
Yep.
Taking all the monthly photos.
Oh yeah, every month.
So it was time for the monthly photos. So they went to the neighbor's house because they have some really cool shrubbery or whatever over there. They went to the neighbor's house to take pictures. So I'm literally sitting in my tree stand. I can hear my kids crying and throwing fits and doing all this stuff with
That's awesome.
with the stuff, and my wife and my mother-in-law yelling at them and whatnot. I can hear that from my tree stand.
It's crazy.
And then
man.
I get a text from my wife saying, "The deer are over here. They're coming your way." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'll grab my bow."
Yeah.
So I reach over and I pick up my bow, and I don't know. It wasn't long after that. I look over and I can see the back of the neighbor's property, which is also wooded, and I can see him coming up toward the fence line. Fence line is probably 70 yards away.
Gotcha.
For that neighbor. So a doe and a fawn, or let's say a fawn was a yearling. They come over, they hop over the fence, and they just start wandering around. And this is like at 4:30, 4:45, and daylight savings time hadn't kicked in, so it gets shooting lights at 7 at this point. So they're wandering around, and I'm thinking, I don't need to be in any hurry. Like, I know from the trail cam photos that these deer come to this area and they kind of hang out. Like, they're not just there and gone. So I know I have time. And I looked at this doe. She's a mature doe. She's definitely a shooter, like, going to shoot her in a heartbeat. But at the same time, I'm like, she's not the really old one, so I'll hold out a little bit. I'll be greedy. I'll hold out and see if that older one wanders through here, because I know I have time. So I'm sitting there. They come out, and they're wandering around. It was so difficult, man. They're 20 yards away. Yeah. And first off, I thought they were going to see me. I'm like, I'm going to be so exposed because I can't get super high in this tree, so I'm only like, 16, 17 feet up.
Gotcha.
And, the canopy from the leaves is kind of helping me a little bit, but the sun is also right in my face. So I'm like, I'm freaking lit up like a Christmas tree, man. They're going to see me. This is my first time sitting in there with deer there, So anyway, they looked right at me, and they just kept wandering around. Either I was that good at my camo. I like to think that I was, because I took it all seriously. I put gloves on. I put a face mask on, everything to try and limit how much white, from my hands and my face that they would see. Yeah. I took it seriously. So I like to think that that's why, and it wasn't just the fact they don't care. But who knows?
That's
really.
what we'll go with.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So these deer are wandering around, and eventually a couple more come out, and I'm still waiting on this old doe. And the mature doe that came out first, man, she's doing laps. Like, she's doing this lap around the feeder in the area, and when she comes closest to me, I ranged her one time. It's like 16 yards. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to shoot this freaking thing. It's killing me. Yeah. And I'm waiting. I'm like, this old girl needs to come out right now, because I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. This doe keeps doing laps. She keeps doing laps. And finally, I'm like, the next time she does it, I'm going to shoot her. I'm not waiting any longer. Yeah. I am going to shoot her. Well, sure enough, she does another lap, and I draw back, and I let that slick trick fly and freaking smoked her with a heart shot at 16 yards.
Nice.
And, I was excited, it was my first deer of the year. Sure. I watched her run behind me and fall over. She didn't go 60. I was gonna say.
What's he gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say she didn't go 20, but I can't say that because she didn't. She went 60, so she didn't go 60. But watched her fall over. I was super excited. And I get out of my stand. I look start walking back to the house, and I look up, and my wife and my kids are standing there on the back porch, and they're like pointing at the neighbors, like, "There's a deer over there. There's a deer over there." I'm like, "There's a deer laying dead over there. I just shot one." And
That's awesome.
my wife posted. It's kind of funny, a little sidetrack, but my wife posted to Instagram. She like came down and she took a picture of like the tree stand, like the lap before the one where I shot the doe, and she posted it on her Instagram and drew arrows on. It's like an arrow pointing up at the tree, say I'm here, and then an arrow pointing at the deer here, and then an arrow pointing at the smoker on the back porch, smoker here, I mean, it was like, there's a circle right there.
That's crazy.
But so I mean, it's just it was something doesn't happen every day, man. You don't get to kill a deer in the backyard every day, and say what you want about me, that's not fair chase or whatever. Man, that's what these deer are here for.
Yeah.
They're here to feed us, man.
It's not high fence.
And it's not high fence. They're low fence, free range deer. They can go anywhere in the world that they want.
Yep.
And they walk 16 yards from my tree stand 4 times in a period of 40 minutes. So I'm going to whack one.
Same thing.
I'm going to shoot one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's how it all went down. I was super pumped. I had my first deer of the year on the ground. My first kill with the cure from Elite. That was pretty cool. And that old slick trick that raptor trick put a hole through her, man.
I bet.
It was freaking like somebody was dumping a milk jug outside that deer.
It
was she was bleeding out. So I was pretty excited.
That's cool. I would expect no less.
I get excited about does, man. I like
do
shooting
too.
does.
I'm right there with you.
I like shooting does.
I'd be freaking pumped. And then did you do the processing yourself?
So we went and got this deer.
Yeah.
Drug it back up to where I was going to field dress him at, which, we were limited. And I forgot my little hangy thingy, my little triangle.
I think it's gamble.
I don't do technical terms.
Stand by.
We have established this on this podcast by now. I do not do technical terms very well.
Pause. So. Gambrel.
Gambrel. Okay. Gambrel. Our boys up north are like, how do you guys not freaking know this? You guys are stupid. Freaking Texas boys.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I did not have one of those things.
Okay. So you didn't have a gambrel with you.
So I had to take a ratchet strap and a stick and string that deer up in the tree. So it was freaking...
Did you get a picture of this at all?
My wife has one.
Okay, good.
My wife got a picture. I mean, it's not as entertaining as you'd think, but it's a ratchet strap with a stick. So
with a what?
With a stick. Gotta get some humor in here somehow.
I like
man.
it.
So,
I like it.
Anyway, I strung this thing up with my ratchet strap and my stick. Field dressed
You
it.
say it the same way every time.
The stick.
I can't.
All right. How do I spell that? Like I'm trying to figure it out now. Anyway, rabbit trail. Sorry. We'll figure it out later. So this thing's strung up.
We know how.
With my ratchet. I can't even say it anymore. All right, I got to move on.
It's hanging in the tree.
Yeah, with my ratchet strap and my stick. So I strung this thing up and field dressed it. And this is like October 30th is the day that this hunt took place.
Gotcha.
So, again, our friends here at Cinnamon Creek, they have a wild game processor.
Yep.
So that's where I'm going to take this deer. I have done self-processing before, but when it's warm like this and when we're this close, I take it to Cinnamon Creek, and they take good care of us, and I'm good friends with the folks up here that I know they do good work. I trust them, so yeah. I'm gonna do it. So I text one of the folks up here at the game processor, and just to like, hey, got a deer, gonna bring it in. How late are y'all open? And she texts back. She says 6, and I look at my watch. It's like 5:55, and I'm like, what?
Uh-oh.
I think I told her, I was like, it's hunting season, right? She goes, it's bow season. And I said, I would think of all people, y'all would understand that it's bow season. People shoot deer in bow season.
Yeah, yeah.
And
that's what it's for.
We got
season.
I mean, we got a good laugh out of it. Long story short, shout out to Cinnamon Creek. They hooked me up, and one of the high school kids that works up here, he was able to come up and help me out and drop my deer off late that night because I had an hour drive to get there, and yeah, it was pretty awesome that they were able to hook me up and help me out with that.
Customer service.
I I can't make that guarantee for everybody that they would do that, but I was very grateful they did it for me that day.
Yeah.
So anyway, I took my deer to Cinnamon Creek.
That's cool.
So,
That's real cool of them to do that.
and I'm getting me lots of jalapeno cheese sausage out of it. It's gonna be
So good.
Gonna be good. So
Some of that. What was a really good one you told me about? The
Chipotle
Chipotle.
cheese. I got some of that.
Yeah.
The jalapeno cheese, the Chipotle cheese are really good. I'm trying the 3 cheese this time.
Yeah.
I like cheese, so I'm trying to get the 3 cheese going. And then what else? Oh, the green hatch chili.
Yes.
We got some of that too.
That's really good,
That stuff is I love that. If you guys, so some guys bring it up here and they like, I want all summer sausage or I want steaks. I mean, everybody has what they like.
Yep.
If whether you guys have used Cinnamon Creek before or whether you're going to after you hear us talk about them and how awesome they are and that you totally should do it. Whether you have or have not, if you come up here and you haven't tried that green hatch chili, just get 1 pack. I mean, it is probably the most expensive sausage product that they have, which is unfortunate, but it's worth it.
Yeah, it is.
So if you guys haven't tried it, just get 1 pack. Just try it. And I guarantee you'll be buying more of it.
Yeah, you will
in
not
the
be
future.
disappointed.
Yes, it's
Same
very good.
Last year when we went on our staff hunt,
Yeah,
you talked me into getting some,
yeah.
and we had it at the WMA hunt this year. Remember?
That's right, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, you cooked it up for us,
Man, that was so.
and it was really good.
It was
still.
good. I'm laughing at the grill, man. I'm laughing at the grill.
That grill was, it worked out.
This is a side note. I know we've already talked about this. We actually podcasted from camp
We did,
that day,
yeah.
which was really cool. But I don't think we talked about the grill. So I had
No.
a little propane, portable, infrared, whatever you call it, grill that a buddy had given me years ago. Actually, I never used it. I was like, oh, this would be a perfect trip to take that on. So
Yeah, because this hunt was primitive.
yeah,
Like we were
it
tent
was all
camping.
do it yourself.
everything.
Yeah. So we brought out there, and the first night we cooked that venison sausage on it.
Yep.
Worked really good. Worked like a champ.
Yep.
So the second night we had hot dogs
Yep.
that we were gonna cook when Dylan was with us.
Mm-hmm.
So we cooked those hot dogs, and I had just pulled the last one off that freaking grill. And my grill, it's small. I had set up on the wheel well of the trailer.
Yep.
I had it sitting on there, and I don't know what I did, but I pulled that hot dog off, and my grill went wha-bam! It flipped over, fell into the trailer, and fell on the lid, and I'm like, well, crap. And I didn't know what to freaking do.
Probably
man.
hot.
Yeah, it was freaking hot.
Yeah.
So, and then when it was upside down, I was like, well, I just ruined my propane grill, my hand-me-down.
Have you tried to fire it back up?
Oh, it works perfect. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it works perfect.
That grill's awesome.
That was a rabbit trail, but it works perfect. So,
Awesome. That's cool.
but
Well, yeah, that green hatch chili
yes,
sausage.
you
Order some.
gotta get you some of that. If you're looking for creative stuff to do with your backstrap and you don't want to mess around with it, you can get the bacon wrap fillets.
Yeah.
Those are good. I always get my backstraps whole because I do my own stuff with those. And another thing, guys, they don't short you on your backstrap.
Mm-mm.
Like, that's probably the biggest complaint from processors across the board is, well, my backstraps were, long, and I got them back, and they're these tiny little things, and the processor says, well, we got to trim the silver off. Silver's not that much, guys. And the guys here at Cinnamon Creek know that. So your backstraps, they're like wound in a half moon shape when they're packaged or something, like in a half circle, but it's all there. All the meat's there. So that's really cool. Now, don't be that guy that comes in and is like, yo, my backstraps off my 80-pound doe were freaking 6 feet long. I mean, don't be that freaking guy.
Right.
But
We all know
you get
that's not
back
it.
what you bring in. That is an honest statement in my opinion. So
Yeah.
Thanks to Cinnamon Creek for hooking me up after that hunt.
Yeah.
So
That's cool, man. Well, that was a freaking cool story. I don't care if
It's
it
a
was
doe hunt, man.
I don't care if it was doe or the biggest deer you've ever killed.
yeah,
It's a cool story.
So a little
And
bit.
I tell you one thing, not everybody has done that.
Yeah,
Has hunted in the backyard.
yeah. It's interesting. It's different. You hear a lot of stuff. It's quiet out there.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of stuff. So anyway, a little bit of follow up after that hunt because actually just a couple days ago, at the time of recording, a couple days ago, my wife and I went out there for our second hunt of the year. I'm trying to get her first deer. She's a bow hunter too. She's a good shot. She's ready to kill a deer with her bow, but she hadn't yet. So we were trying to get her first, and we had high hopes because we're like, these deer come in all the time at this place. We saw some deer. They were out of her bow range, so we didn't get a shot. But when I checked the camera that afternoon, we have a nice 8-point buck coming in now.
Yeah.
Now that it's getting a little later in the year.
She's never killed a deer, right?
Nope.
That'd be a really good first deer.
Yeah, she reminds me of that every day. She's like, you shot a doe, I'm going to shoot that buck. I'm like, well, if a doe comes out, you're going to shoot the doe, and then I'm up. It'll be my turn to shoot the buck. So, but we'll see who gets it. I'll be happy for her if she does get it. He's pretty sporadic, and like the daylight photos we have are in the morning, which most of the time we hunt evenings out there. But he is out there, so we'll see if we get a crack at him this year.
Yeah, hopefully you can get him coming in.
Yeah. Speaking of bucks, man, we haven't talked about it on the podcast for a while. I know we mentioned a few episodes ago your big buck. We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Perfect time. Let's give folks an update.
Yeah, so we have cameras up all over the place on our place, and the last picture we had gotten of him was October 19th, I believe, and we didn't see anything of him at all. We didn't get any pictures of him, not even at night. And up till then, we'd only gotten a couple of pictures of him during the day. But here recently, we are recording this podcast. It is 11/18, so November 18th. The last picture we got of him was on November 14th. And so he is back. He's still out there. Hadn't been shot yet. So
nice. Just
waiting for him to walk under my tree stand.
Heck yeah. You also got some pictures you sent me of some other cool looking deer.
Yeah, there's some funky looking ones, man. I don't know what it is, if it's just the DNA out there or what the genetics out there, but there's a really good I guess he's a typical 10, but so the rules and regs in Texas are they have to be at least 13 inches wide to be legal.
In that county, at least.
Yes. And this deer is not even outside of his ears, but he's really solid 10-point.
He looks young. Like he looks like he might be a 3.5-year-old. So you might have, I think give him another year or two.
I really think he's going to be a stud next year.
Yeah, I think you'll have a decent deer on your hands right there.
And then we also have a picture of a really funky looking deer who I don't even know how to describe his antlers.
Well,
how would you describe that?
Well, not only that, but he's like the picture. I'm surprised you got a picture of him because he's so far.
Yeah.
He looks so far in the distance from the trail cam, so it's hard to tell, and he's angling away. But yeah, it's just like there's no pattern to his antlers. It's just
you can't
there's
really
stuff
tell
going everywhere.
what a main beam is, and he's got like maybe a double main beam on the left side, and the right side just kind of goes straight up and angles forward.
We will post a picture of this deer with this episode. We'll call him the Crazy Horn Buck.
Yeah.
That way you guys know what deer we're talking about. But after this episode's released, we will post a picture of this deer. You can see what we're talking about and message us on Instagram and tell us what you think he is.
Yeah, old Crazy Horn. But he looks young too, so I don't know if it was just something that happened to him in velvet, or maybe next year he'll straighten out.
Man, it could be. Like I said, it's not the best picture, but
yeah,
there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. My guess right now, my gut is telling me it's genetic, and that he needs to go.
Might be, because we've had plenty of funky-looking deer in the past too.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Well, again, we're recording this episode mid-November, and this episode is going to come out sometime in December is when y'all are going to be hearing this.
Yeah.
So with that being said, hopefully by the time this episode comes out, one, you got a better picture of that deer, and maybe we have a better idea what's going on. And two, your big 150-inch stud is on the ground.
Yeah.
So
I hope both of those things come true in the next.
That would be awesome.
2-3
maybe
weeks.
Episode 41 can be your story.
Maybe so. We'll see. We'll see. I did.
No promises. I'm not giving you guys a hint to next week's episode. At the time of recording, I have no idea what next week's episode is going to be.
We really have no clue. There is no deer on the ground right now, I promise. Because if there was, I'd be telling you about it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. I did put some. I just went out like 3 days ago, and I put some Vapple out.
Nice.
So hopefully that'll make him come in.
Man, I'll say this. I know I said that I put the corn additive, in for that doe hunt. I also poured a line of their attractant out there. per the directions on the packaging, as advertised. I poured a line, and those deer were out there for 40 minutes before I shot that doe. I had never put a line of apple out there before. I poured a line, and by the time I shot that doe, there was no more apple on the ground. They
love that stuff,
They ate
man.
that whole thing.
Even at our staff hunt last year, those does came straight to it.
They tore it up.
Yeah.
Tore it up.
It was crazy.
So,
But anyways,
plug for Apple products.
yeah, go try them out.
Effective attractant and affordable for the everyday hunter. Very competitive prices.
Absolutely.
Very competitive prices. I continue every time I get on their website and I look at their prices. I'm like, holy crap, this stuff's affordable.
Yeah,
So,
I mean they have a package
cheap.
of everything you
cheap.
need. They have a package with corn additive, scent control, and then like a detergent or something like that. I have to look it up to get exactly what.
I'm looking it up right now. I got my computer in front of me for this podcast.
Because I looked at them not too long ago.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you guys these prices. That way you know exactly what we're talking about. And not only that, but they also have like laundry detergent and scent control stuff.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. So, yeah, their 20-pound bag of attractant is $12.95. $13 for a
That's crazy.
20-pound bag.
And the instructions say to pour like a 3-inch line, a 4-foot.
Yeah, 3 to 4 feet, 3 inches deep.
Yeah.
Their 5-pound attractant is what we have the most of, probably, what we frequently get, because it's just so easy to carry out there in the field with you.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, you can even throw it in your pack if you wanted
that's
to.
exactly what I do.
But, yeah, that stuff is like, it's like $10.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
cheap,
cheap.
guys.
Their
And it works.
Scent control's $11 for a 24-ounce bottle. You know, I mean, and I'm reading the prices off the website because that's what I do. But here, this is what we were looking at. The Vapple package.
Yes.
$34. You get the corn additive powder, you get the scent cover spray, and you get a wind checker.
There you go.
Their protein block, their block, which is a full-size block, is $15. So, guys, Vapple products, you got to go check them out.
Go check them out, guys.
It will change your world. It will. It literally
You'll
will.
be impressed. I promise. Well, Sam, if you don't have anything else, we'll go ahead and close it out.
Man, that's my story. That's where I'm at this season.
That's awesome.
I got, as y'all know, I got shorted on my Montana trip, so that's not happening. I don't have a cool Montana story to tell this year, so I'm hunting in the backyard instead.
Hey, but it's still cool.
Hanging
it's
up
still
deer
cool.
with
I
my
don't care.
sticks.
Yeah, with sticks. Is that how you say it?
Sticks.
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 All right, guys. Well, Sam, thanks again for sharing your story with us.
Man,
I think
anytime. It was a pleasure to come back on the podcast as a guest.
Yeah, we love having you here at Fall Obsession.
I know it's always a good time when I get to record with you guys.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, we love having you for sure. We look forward to next time when you'll be on the podcast.
Yeah, I can't wait
again.
for you guys to invite me back. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, you hear it every time, every podcast. Go check out fallobsession.com.
Yes.
That's the hub. You can find all kinds of stuff on there. You can find our podcasts on there. You can find photos, videos, our store, our hunting show, our flagship hunting show, Fall Obsessed Outdoors, articles, reviews, recipes, all kinds of stuff, guys. So go there, check it out. Go check out our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube.
Yes.
You can listen to our podcast and subscribe to our podcast on all major avenues, including Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and I think iHeartRadio now, right, Sam?
We've had iHeartRadio, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
We're trying to get Pandora. Maybe by this episode we've got them, but they're being so difficult.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I say
Maybe
that.
they'll start cooperating.
I say that with sarcasm. I don't really know like what goes into. I've done my part. I don't know how long it's supposed to take them. So
Gotcha.
it just
Okay.
seems like it's taking way
So
longer
Pandora's
than the
coming.
rest of them. Maybe. Who knows?
Anyways.
They send me newsletters.
Sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, go check those out. Subscribe. And there's actually a place on our website, fallobsession.com/podcast. You can go to the bottom if there's something you want us to talk about. If you want to give us some feedback, positive, we'll take constructive criticism as well.
Rip us a new one.
There's a place you can do that at the bottom there. So go fill that out and let us know.
Guys, I'll say too about our website. We built this site over 2 years ago at this point is when we launched this new website. New at the time. It's 2 years old obviously now. But when we launched our website, and the goal was we custom built it as with the mindset that we're going to use this to share all 100% original content from Fall Obsession, and that is exactly what we have been doing for 2 years. And the guy that helped me build the website, this was a little while ago, but he got on there one time to help me with something, like changing something around on there, and he was like, holy crap, you guys have put up so much content since I built this thing. I'm like, yeah, I mean, literally every week our website is changing and updating to reflect the content that we post on our pages.
Yeah.
So everything is on there. Everything we have to offer, at least the highlighted photos and stuff from our social media are in our galleries. Our videos are on our video pages. You know, all of our stuff is on that website. You guys can go there and see everything that we have ever done.
Yeah.
And I really encourage you to do so, because our goal is to provide the everyday hunter with all the resources that he needs to be a better hunter, in our opinion, to put quality equipment in his hands. That's our goal. We don't use anything we don't believe in. We don't endorse anything that we don't believe in. We don't do product reviews, positive product reviews on anything that we don't believe in.
Yeah.
If we use it, it's because it works. It's because we spent money on it to take it out in the field, and it worked.
And I'll point out that a lot of the reviews that are on our website are not sponsorships. These are things that guys have spent their own money on and have gone and field tested them themselves. So
now we do review the products we're
Absolutely.
sponsored by. We've
Yeah.
reviewed Vapol and Elite and CBE and all that stuff. But yeah,
there are several that aren't.
90% of our reviews are stuff that our guys spent their own money on that we have no affiliation with.
Yeah. So a shout out to our staffers as well, because
Yes.
we wouldn't have the content to post without them. So
Yes,
good job to you guys.
absolutely.
And
And
gals.
since we're talking about reviews, during this hunt, I self-filmed it. At the time this podcast is coming out, the video's probably out at this point.
I meant to ask you about that earlier.
Yeah, I
actually,
need to
so.
give you all the footage so you can edit it. But anyway, I bought a Realtree Easy Hanger camera mount. It's basically an easy hanger with a camera mount on the end instead of a hook.
Yeah.
And it is awesome. It works so good for self-filming, and it's like $15.
Yeah.
So if you guys are looking for just a basic, inexpensive camera arm to self-film your hunts, Realtree has an easy hanger with a camera mount on it. Like, it's a thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get me one.
Yeah, go buy one. And hopefully by the time this episode comes out, we're not sponsored by a company that's conflicting with Realtree, but I mean, it works. Go get one.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my product review for this
Awesome.
podcast
We'll take
episode.
it. You'll have to write it out so we can then put it.
Yeah,
on
I in all seriousness, I plan on doing a video on it, so we'll make that happen.
Sounds good. And one more thing I want to shout out. Go check out our store, our apparel.
Yes.
I've said it before. I said it last week. Probably said it the week before that.
Probably say it next week.
I'll probably say it next week. Our apparel is, I know we joke around and say top notch a lot, but it is top notch.
Top notch.
Like, these shirts are some of the most comfortable shirts I've ever worn, and I wear them all the time just because of that reason. Also, not just because I love Fall Obsession. I like supporting it, but they're super comfortable.
It'll stick with you.
And they're top notch.
Top notch.
Yeah, but really, guys, we do have a lot of different hat designs. I know we've had a lot of requests come through for a camouflage hat design, and we have one coming to you. Hopefully, by the time this is out, it should be.
If it's not, then here's your heads up. It's coming.
It's coming. That's right.
And it may already be there. If it is, go buy one. If it's not, get ready.
Podcast timing.
I know we're recording these so far in advance. We can't even tell people what products we have online.
Yeah, that's a struggle. But anyways, guys, go check us out. Look up, just Google Fall Obsession. You'll find everything.
First thing that pops up.
Yeah. But guys, thanks for listening to another Fall Obsession podcast. We will see you next week.
I don't know why you guys keep listening to us. We are so bad at this. But thank you anyway. We appreciate it.
Thank you anyway.
All right, guys.
We'll catch you later.